Hello, my crafty friends. It's Andrea from Prairie Sky Paper Crafts, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba. I've got a secret for you today. I don't know if you've seen this product in the new catalog. I totally missed it in the paper copy and online. I saw it when I was going through Stampin' Up! Videos for my lunch, and I saw it, and I thought I needed it, and I'm so glad that I got it. The It is the Stampin' Up! Masking paper. So I've already been playing with it just a tiny little bit. It is 5 by 7 and the backing is split so that it's easy to take off. And it just feels like regular copy paper on the front of it. So in the video, they show that it can be used to mask your stamps or mask your card. But of course, I'm going outside of the box just a little bit. And I'm going to do some DIY washi tape. That was the very first thing that popped into my head when I saw this. So that's what we're going to try today. Now, if you're in Canada and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and would like to see what this is all about, the link to the card with the shopping list is down below. It's just taking a few products. I've got the masking tape. I've got our new In Color Starry Sky. I'm going to be using the He's All That stamp set, probably these little element pieces. I might try to work in the compass. We'll see how that goes. And I'm also using this tiny little seagull from the Waves of Inspiration. So in my head, this is going to, be created exactly the same way as any of our other background papers. So we're just going to take this and randomly stamp. Now I do have a piece here and it is large, but my plan is to trim it. I'm not sure if I'm going to trim it with, actually upside down it looks kind of like a mustache. Anyway, if I'm going to trim it with scissors, my cutter, or if I'm just going to tear it and hope for the best. We'll see what the mood strikes when we get there. Okay, so the colors that I've got working today as well are basic gray. I've got some Blackberry Bliss, and we're going to throw in a little bit of color with our Pacific Point. Oh my goodness, lost it there for a second. I haven't used all of the stamp sets in this stamp set yet, so they still do have the backing on them, and I had to pop them out of the plastic. Okay, I think we're gonna do the number 1 in Pacific Point, and the elements that I'm using as well come from the He's the Man Designer Series paper pack, which is in the annual catalog as well. This one is actually a little bit different than some of the other paper packs because it has 10 sheets of Designer Series paper, 2 each of each design, as well as 2 sheets of die cut images. And I gotta say, I am loving, I've practically used all of the die cut images actually. I love them that much. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up with that one. I think we're gonna bring in our basic gray again for our screw top, and I think we're just going to use our compass point a couple of times, and we'll do that in the Blackberry Bliss. Don't put your ink pad on top of your stamp block. When you're using your stamp block too, you want to always make sure that there's a nice little pop so that you know that it is closed. You could absolutely heat emboss this as well. I would just be careful, just to make sure that the adhesive doesn't come off. Now, or not come off, the adhesive can get a little bit soft when you heat it up. So you want to be careful with that. I would do maybe just a few blasts, take a break, then do another few blasts. Easy for me to say today. Holy cow. I'm not going to use the photo triangle or photo corner. Okay, now we're just going to use a couple of spots And then there's our third one. All right. I don't want it too full of color. But maybe I will add, because I think the white is a little bit stark. Now, one of the die cut pieces that I want to use for this is actually this little torn notebook piece. I thought that the washi tape look would go really well with that, but it's not quite white. So I think I'm just going to go over it with just a tiny little bit of color. And all I've done is just a couple of really quick dabs and then just kind of giving it a hint of color so that it's not quite so obviously white. And you can still tell that it started its life out as white, but it's all good. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right. I think we need to bring in some gray too. That's the fun part about creating. You just kind of go with it and see what happens. Now, if you do play with the masking tape, I would love to see what you create. So be sure to pop over to my Facebook group, Prairie Sky Paper Crafters. It is a ton of fun. There's lots of inspiration, some behind the scenes stuff, and you never know when prizes are going to pop up. Okay, I like that. And the links for all of my stuff are down below as well, for quick and easy location. So as I said, I've got a piece of our starry sky here. I've got our mask piece. Now, not our mask, our die cut piece. You know what? I think I am going to just tear it. So when I tear, I kind of like to do forward, backward, and then just try to keep it close to the same size. I think I'm going to tear it in half though, because this is going to be a little bit bigger than what we've got. And if you want, if you don't like the jagged line, actually, I'm going to tear it this way because I actually don't want to have a perfectly straight line. So I will use that piece on something else. Ooh, I just had an idea. Okay. Now we're going to take this and we're going to make it look a little bit more rustic. Give it a bit of a crumple. And then I'm going to tear it approximately in half. And then we're going to grab, oops, I should have taken the backing off before I tore it, but oh well. So we're going to put this piece across like this. Now this is going to be sticky enough that I don't need to adhere this piece down. Yeah, so this one we're gonna need to hope that we can get the back off, because I don't know what it is about adhesive backing, but it is usually fairly impossible to get off without, well, for me anyway, like any of it, like Mac Tack or sometimes even dimensionals pose a bit of a, there we go, pose a bit of an issue. So we're going to stick that one like that. And I think we need to add just another small piece. I know, watching somebody tear paper is so riveting. Okay, there's where our end piece is. So what I'm going to do to make it easier on myself for next time is tear it and then bend it over. So all I have to do is flick it up and then pull it off. And then we're going to place this piece kind of here, I think. There. So this is a little outside of my normal style. Usually I don't do things that are kind of vintage or shabby chic. Usually it's fairly straight, clean lines. But I don't know, this one just needed a little something, something. And I think I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit more and see what else we can get away with. So we've got our stamp. I'm going to stick this guy over here, and I think we're going to do our sentiment in Pacific Point. Oops. Just because we can. You know, this is the first time I've used this one, so I just want to stamp it off and make sure that I'm going to get a good impression. Maybe we'll go down here a bit, straight up, straight down. Then if you wanted to make it look a little bit more personalized, you can absolutely write a note anywhere on there, but I'm going to take a peek through here and see if there's anything else that we can add to this that might make it a little bit more. This is just the clear Stampin' Up! Envelope. It was so much easier to break them apart and store them in here than it was to do anything else. Now there are tools. No, that one doesn't really work. There are tools. There's, what else is in here? There's some hunting and camping themed stuff. Yeah, I'm not really loving any of those. So let's see what else we can find. Oh, actually, I've got just, I was cutting out some designer series paper yesterday for a class. So you know what, we're just going to quickly fussy cut out the car. It's got the tools there, so it kind of fits. Just do a quick little fussy cut. Now, there was cars with the die cut as well. I don't want to cut off the back of the car because that would just be not smart. And you know what? I think we could do a little bit better job on those tires. We'll make them a little bit more round. Triangle tires don't typically go anywhere. All right. Yep, that's cute. I like that. Okay, and of course, I just had my dimensionals here, but I pushed them out of the way. So, what are we gonna use? You know what? I think we're just gonna use a little bit of tape. Nope, sorry. Just had an idea and put it out of my head just as quick. So I'll put our little, whoops, put our little car kind of going there. Now all we need to do is grab our card base. That's not a base, oh my gosh. Usually if I'm running low, I'll grab a pack of the basic white paper and then just cut a whole ton of bases and then stick them in my paper carrier that's close at hand. And then that way I can just grab one anytime I need one and I don't have to cut individually, which depending on the day, I could be making a ton of cards. Okay, I need to double check the height on this. It looks a little tall. That's odd. It was just a little bit taller than 5.5. So that's our standard card base, which is a half sheet of cardstock, 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And now, let's see, what are we going to add for our embellishments? You know what, we're just going to wink of Stella. I'm going to do a little bit of Stella on the windows. It's cloudy here today, so I don't know that you're going to be able to see a whole ton. And then we'll just go over the letters. Now, Wink of Stella is water-based, and the inks are water-based. So if you're going over as a highlight, you do want to make sure that you're not going too heavy or too crazy because the ink will bleed a little bit. I'm just going very, very light-handed over this one. And then because the ink does pick up when you're finished, you want to go over to a scrap piece of paper and just brush the tip off to make sure that, you know, if you're doing a different color the next time, you might not want to have a color transfer. All right, so there is a masculine birthday card, Father's Day card, anytime you need a card for a guy, really. And I know a lot of card makers have a really challenging time doing guy cards. This suite makes it so super easy. So please be sure to stop by my store if you're in Canada, or you can check out the links down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon.